They want you to believe that if you're not gaming at 1000 Hz in 2026, you're losing. But I'm going to show you why spending $5,000 on this new technology is actually the worst mistake you can make for your setup this year. It is officially 2026, and the refresh rate wars have officially gone stupid. We used to argue about 60 versus 120, then it was 144 versus 240. But now, manufacturers have dropped the nuclear option. 1000 Hz gaming TVS. I have two displays in front of me. On the left, the current fan favorite 165 Hz OLED costs a reasonable amount. On the right, the new, hyper-expensive 1000 Hz beast that promises to make real life look slow. You might think the winner is obvious, but after testing these for 2 weeks, the results actually made me angry. Let's back up for a second. If you walked into a store 3 years ago, 4K at 120 Hz was the gold standard. It was perfect. It matched your PlayStation 5, it matched your Xbox, and it was attainable. But tech companies don't make money by selling you attainable. They make money by selling you the impossible. So, this year, we saw the release of the first consumer-ready 1000 Hz panels. The marketing claims are insane. They say it eliminates motion blur entirely. They say it gives you a bionic advantage in shooters. They say it's the last TV you will ever need to buy. And on paper, they are right. I hooked up the 1000 Hz panel first. This is a prototype-level LED panel, heavily modified for speed. I loaded up a competitive shooter, something light that can actually hit high frame rates, and I started spinning the camera. I have to admit, it is spooky. When you move your mouse on a 60 Hz screen, the world turns into a smear. On a 165 Hz screen, that smear tightens up and becomes clear. But on 1000 Hz, the smear is just gone. It looks like you are looking through a window. The background stays perfectly sharp no matter how fast you whip your aim around. For about 10 minutes, I sat there thinking, okay, this is it. I can never go back. Take my money. But then, the honeymoon phase ended, and the reality of 2026 hardware set in. Here is the dirty little secret that the TV box doesn't tell you. To get any benefit from a 1000 Hz screen, you need to feed it 1000 frames per second. Do you have any idea how hard that is? I have an RTX 5090 in my PC. It is the most powerful graphics card money can buy right now. It is a monster. And yet when I try to play any modern AAA game, Cyberpunk, GTA VI, even the new Call of Duty, I am not getting anywhere near 1000 frames per second. In the heavy graphical games, I'm lucky to hit 140. In the optimized competitive shooters, maybe I hit 500 or 600 if I turn all the settings down to potato mode. So, you have this $5,000 Ferrari of a TV, but you only have enough gas to drive it through a school zone. You are paying for performance you literally cannot use. The TV is refreshing 1000 times a second, but your PC is only sending it a new picture every third or fourth refresh. And that leads to the second massive issue: picture quality. To achieve 1000 Hz, these new TVS have to make sacrifices. They are usually using TN or specialized fast IPS panels. They are built for speed, not beauty. On the other hand, we have the slow option, the 165 Hz OLED. I put them side by side and loaded up a dark cinematic game. The difference was embarrassing. The 1000 Hz screen looked washed out. The blacks were gray. The colors looked a bit flat. It was fast, sure, but it looked like a computer monitor from 2020. Then I looked at the OLED. The blacks were inky and perfect. The colors popped off the screen. The HDR highlights were blindingly bright. And here is the kicker. Because the pixel response time on an OLED is instantaneous, the motion at 165 Hz is actually incredibly clear. Is it 1000 Hz clear? No. But it is 95% of the way there. I realized I was enjoying the games way more on the OLED. I stopped caring about the refresh rate counter in the corner and started looking at the actual art in the game. I could see the texture on the walls, the reflections in the water, the details in the shadows. On the 1000 Hz screen, I was just looking for enemies to shoot. It brings up a massive psychological question. Are you buying a TV to enjoy video games? Or are you buying a TV to sweat in a competitive ranked match? Because if you are a competitive player, you aren't playing on a 55-inch TV anyway. You're playing on a 24-inch monitor with your face 3 inches from the screen. So who is this TV actually for? I decided to do a blind test to settle this. I invited 2 friends over. One is a casual gamer, plays on weekends, loves story games. The other is a cracked Valorant player who breathes refresh rates. I covered the bezels so they couldn't tell which TV was which. I set both TVs to run a game at a locked 165 frames per second because that is the realistic limit for most high-end gaming in 2026. I asked them, which TV looks smoother? The casual gamer pointed to the OLED. He said, that one looks clearer. The competitive gamer squinted. He moved the mouse around. He strafed back and forth. He pointed to the 1000 Hz screen and said, this one feels slightly more responsive, but it looks ugly. Think about that. Even the guy who is obsessed with speed admitted the picture looked worse. And then I unlocked the frame rate. I let the 1000 Hz TV run as fast as the PC could handle, about 450 FPS in this specific test. The competitive gamer started freaking out. Okay, now I feel it. That is smooth. That is instant. He was hitting shots he usually misses. He was in love, but then I told him the price. I said, the screen you love is $4,500. The screen you said looked better earlier is $1,200. He stopped moving the mouse. He looked at me, looked back at the screen and said, yeah, never mind, I'm not paying an extra $3,000 to hit one extra sniper shot per game. We have reached the point of diminishing returns. It's the law of technology. The jump from 60 Hz to 120 Hz was massive. It changed everything. The jump from 120 Hz to 240 Hz was noticeable, but smaller. The jump to 1000 Hz? It is technically impressive. It is an engineering marvel, but for 99.9% of people watching this video, it is a waste of money. Unless you have bionic eyes and a computer borrowed from NASA, you do not need 1000 Hz. In 2026, the best gaming TV isn't the fastest one. It's the one that balances speed with picture quality. You want an OLED. You want that infinite contrast. You want those deep colors. 165 Hz or even 240 Hz is absolutely plenty for a large screen experience. Don't let the marketing hype bully you into thinking your gear is obsolete. It's not. The 1000 Hz revolution is here, but it's not ready for us, and our wallets aren't ready for it.